And now, straight out of Boston, Massachusetts, it's time for Entertainment Talk Nation, your #1 entertainment talk show, discussing everything from the movies to video games and more. And now, here is your host, Robert Rosado.
All right, welcome back. Episode 2. We got quite a bit to talk about today. We got a Dune trailer, which we're going to check out shortly, and I'm going to do a review for it, share my thoughts. I did watch it earlier, but we'll watch it again here live on the stream together. For those of you who might be watching this played back, re-uploaded onto the channel, I will not show the trailer on the channel because of copyright reasons. We also have some speculating news regarding Wonder Woman and a potential delay. We also are going to look at Call of Duty Black Ops. The multiplayer was revealed. So I did watch that. We're going to look at that trailer as well. And we're going to go over some of the important key points they talked about during their stream. We also have some news about The Walking Dead. And we're going to go over that. There's going to be a lot of Walking Dead coming. So we're going to get into that as well. We also have a bullshit segment. And we're also going to talk some more about the Xbox as they officially reveal some more detailed information regarding the S and the X. Release date will be November 10th, so we'll get into that in a little bit more detail. All right, let's start off with this Dune trailer. So I saw the original Dune from back in the day, and I was a kid when it came out. I watched it again as I got a little bit older. It was panned. It was not received very well when it first came out. Years later, they tried to redo it again on Sci-Fi. Once again, failure. I've never read the books. I've heard the books are really good. Sometimes books are tough to adapt onto film. This trailer, we're going to take a look at it real quick before I share my thoughts. So if you can just hear in the audience, give me a moment to load this. And I just want to say real quick, once again, I will not be showing this trailer when I re-upload this highlight onto the channel, because of copyright reasons. So, all right, here we go. Let's check this out.
There's something happening to me. There's something awakening in my mind. I can't control it.
What did you see?
There's a crusade coming.
Gonna lower this a little bit.
Do you often dream things that happen just as you dreamed them?
Yes.
The test is simple. Remove your hand from the box, and you die.
What's in the box?
Pain. You inherit too much power. You have proven you can rule yourself. Now you must learn to rule others. Something none of your ancestors learned.
My father rules an entire planet.
He's losing it.
He's getting a richer one.
He'll lose that one too. Arrakis is a death trap.
Kill them. This is an extermination. They're picking my family off one by one.
Let's fight like demons.
An animal caught in a trap will gnaw off its own leg to escape. What will you do?
I know you.
One day, the legend will be born. All of civilization depends on it.
The future. I can see it. I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer.
My Lord Duke.
Where the fear is gone, only I will remain.
Okay, so we just finished watching the Dune trailer here on stream. As I said before, for those of you who are watching the highlight of the stream on the channel, I did not obviously show the trailer, but we did just watch it. Look, visually it's stunning. There's no doubt about that. Obviously, the cast is very solid. Whether or not that results into a success remains to be seen. I do like the inclusion of Pink Floyd. It's one of my favorite groups, and so that's nice. Obviously, I like the original better, but this was a pretty good version of one of their many hit songs. Again, I'm not a huge Dune person like maybe some of you are or other people. I do know that in the past, when Dune has attempted to be done in cinema, it has not gone well. It has not been received well. Again, I never read the books, so I don't know how difficult it is to adapt the story to cinema. I can only assume that's one of the reasons why it wasn't successful in the past. Am I excited for this? I'm not going to say I'm excited. I'm not going to say I'm not. I'm kind of indifferent. I just am not familiar enough with the lore to really be excited. Does it visually look good? Absolutely. Am I aware of some of the, obviously like the worm at the end, and I know that's a big deal. It does look cool. Looks very reminiscent of some of the sandworms in the Final Fantasy series, the way they designed it. At least that's how it looks to me. We'll see. We'll see what happens. It's supposed to come out December 18th, but that might change, and we'll get into that in another segment a little bit later on this podcast in regards to Wonder Woman. But I think we'll see. I'm not gonna sit here and knock it. I'm not gonna sit here and praise it. I try not to get excited about trailers these days. They can be very, very misleading. I've seen plenty of trailers that have excited me and only to turn around and the movies to be complete trash. And I've seen plenty of trailers that have been underwhelming and it turns out the movies are very good. And to be fair, I'll even use Godzilla 2014 as an example. As much as I love that movie, compared to the trailers and how it was set up, that movie was underwhelming compared to the way the trailers built it up to be. Obviously, I was not disappointed overall, but I was expecting a little bit more of a darker tone in the movie than what we got. So, again, trailers can be deceiving. But visually, it looks beautiful. Obviously, they have a lot of good stars in it. I like the music in the trailer. I thought it was a very good length, a 3-minute trailer. And when you consider that the logo coming on screen only lasted about 6 or 7 seconds, you got a pretty long trailer there. So I think it's a good way to start the marketing on the movie. We'll see how it does. That's all I can say. Outside of that, I know nothing about Dune and the story to say that I see anything in the trailer that's recognizable. All I see is a beautiful visuals and a very good cast, but we know that that is not necessarily a formula for success. So I will reserve everything regarding this movie when it comes out, if I decide to see it. Again, just not a Dune enthusiast like some people out there. So whether or not I see it when it releases remains to be seen, but we'll see. So, but overall, I think it was a good trailer, and I'm hopeful that some of the Dune fans out there are very excited. I'm pretty sure you guys are. So, I wish you luck. Third time's a charm. Third time's a charm. So hopefully this time it works out. So, all right. We're going to move on real quickly to The Walking Dead, a show that I have not brought up on this channel in a very, very long time. A very long time. So The Walking Dead has confirmed that the 11th season will be the final season. It's going to be 24 episodes long. I have not kept up with the show in quite some time. I think the last season I saw was the very season that Rick was written off the show. And I believe I only caught a little bit of the second half of that season, and then I just kind of stopped watching. That's not to say that it wasn't good. I do recall a lot of people saying that season was very good, and so was the following season, despite the fact that the show has been dying. And, it's tough to keep a show going for that long. The zombie genre has kind of slowly been fading away. That we had that zombie fever pitch from like 2010 to like 2017 for like 7 years. It was a zombie. Everybody wanted zombies. Seems to be dying off now. But that's not deterring AMC. AMC is trying to get everything they can out of The Walking Dead before it becomes obsolete. They also announced that they'll be doing a spin-off with starring characters Daryl and Carol. Will be leading off that spin-off series. There's going to be a show called Tales of the Walking Dead, which is, I guess, another short I don't know. It's just another show in the works that's called Tales of the Walking Dead. There's going to be Fear the Walking Dead, which is still continuing, going into its 6th season. And there's going to be a limited run show called The Walking Dead World Beyond. And then finally, we still have in the works the 3-part trilogy of The Walking Dead that is supposed to follow Rick Grimes. So there's still a lot of Walking Dead coming. The primary show's coming to an end, but there's a lot of Walking Dead to come. So if you're still a Walking Dead enthusiast, if you still love The Walking Dead, and you still love those zombie guts and all that good stuff, then you have nothing to fear. AMC will be providing that content, at least for the foreseeable future. I will definitely go back and eventually finish watching the show. I want to see how it ends, and I do want to catch up with what I missed. But the show, for me, it wasn't an issue of the characters. It wasn't even an issue with the story. It was more so the setting. After a while, I just got tired of seeing the same old trees, the same old dirt road, the same old forest. You know, those first few seasons were so good because the scenery changed quite a bit. You know, we had, you opening up, he's in the hospital, you got the neighborhood setting, they're there for a while. Then they branch off, they're out in the woods, they're only there for a while, then they're in the CDC, then they're in a prison, or rather they're in a farm, then they're in a prison, and then, they go on a road trip, they go to Alexandria, but all the surrounding scenery became the same. It just became, and I get it, you're in an apocalypse, you're not going to be chilling in a condo, I understand that. But you could only get so much of the same scenery for so long before it just gets stale. And I think that's what happened. And then also, some of the later villains, with the exception of Negan, a lot of the later villains, I just lost interest. It's always the same thing. It's a crazy apocalyptic leader that wants to be a tyrant, be a dictator of some sort. It was really only the governor and Negan that I ever really liked as villains. I do understand Negan's still on the show. I don't know where he's gone. If it's anything like the comics, then I have a pretty good idea of where he's at right now. But otherwise, I just lost interest. It after a while, it wasn't, you had a lot of good characters go. I think for a lot of people, when oh my God, see, this is how long since it's been since I've seen the show. When Glenn died, when Glenn was murdered, I think that kind of tipped a lot of people in the other direction. I think a lot of people stopped watching after that. My wife is a prime example. She loved Glenn. That was her number one favorite character. And I remember when she watched that episode, she was in tears and she didn't really want to watch after that. Sometimes there are characters that are just, you can't kill them off. It'll have that kind of effect on people. And I kind of got the vibe that ever since Glenn got killed, even though that's exactly how it happens in the comics and it worked for the comics, sometimes these things don't work on the show. And I kind of feel like that was kind of the start of the ball rolling downhill for the show. And then slowly over time, you started losing other primary characters, some characters leaving and coming back, but that kind of always hurts the show as well. Michonne, Denai Guerrero, who plays Michonne, I believe she left at some point, and which is for good reason. She's obviously starring in movies now. So I think just after a while, the show ran its course. You get these shows and they make stars out of people, and these stars go and they move on. And if they happen to be a fan favorite, well, that's going to hurt your show. And I just think that the show has so slowly been bleeding a slow death. Now, look, with that said, last I checked, even though the numbers are not what they used to be, they still have pretty good numbers for a Sunday night on cable TV, which is why I believe AMC is still investing in the IP, but it's not ever going to be like the 16, 17 million every Sunday night that they used to get. It's never going to be like that again. So, but who knows? Maybe one day I'll go back and watch all this extra stuff, but I definitely am going to go back and watch the remainder of the seasons that I've missed up until the end of the season. And I definitely want to check out the movie with Rick Grimes. That I'm definitely interested in. I want to see where that character ends up. So, we'll see. All right, we're going to, let me see here. I want to talk briefly about the Xbox, then we're going to get into Call of Duty. So the Xbox did reveal confirmation that the price for the Series X is going to be $499. Series S is going to be $299. You're still getting the same power in the Series S that you are in the X. That's a big deal. There were some people who thought maybe it'd be a weaker version, but no, you're not getting the CD-ROM for the Blu-ray disc, the games. You're not getting the full terabyte hard drive. We spoke about this yesterday. But what you are here's the most interesting thing to me. They are rolling out a new payment plan to buy the machines, which is very, 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 very smart. It's a very smart move. Basically, you have the Xbox Series S. You can pay $24.99 a month over the course of 2 years for the system. Or if you get the Xbox Series X, you pay $35.99 or $34.99, I should say, over the course of 2 years. Now, this is something that, unless you have a credit card, obviously the credit card kind of works that way. You buy it in full price with your credit card and you make your small monthly payments to meet the minimums and you pay it off over time. But this is different. This is coming directly from Xbox. And I think this is a very, very smart move. This is a very smart move because one of the number one concerns when switching from one generation to the next is the fact that the cost, generations go and the machines get more expensive. The games get a little bit more expensive. There's still question as to whether or not the games are going to go up in price from $59 to $69. I personally cannot see how these companies could even fathom doing that, considering they never release a full product when you buy a AAA game. AAA games are so disappointing to purchase these days. And I still find it very hard for me to actually be willing to do this. But again, if I want to do gaming content, I have to get these games out right in the outset. So it looks like it's going to be a very good potential deal for a lot of people. And I don't see myself getting one still, simply because I can play a lot of these games on PC. Microsoft games and many of the games they release on Xbox are very closely tied to releases on PC as well. And knowing that no matter how powerful these consoles are, my graphics cards will always outperform them. I will always be miles ahead of any console in regards to graphics cards. That's just fact. I know there's some console lovers that hate to hear that, but that's just fact. And because of that, anytime I have the potential to play a game, if I have a choice, be it console or computer, I always go computer. Unless most of my buddies, if I'm playing with some people and most of them have a console, then I might get the game for console so I can play multiplayer with them. So good confirmation here by Xbox. $24.99 a month. I mean, to get the system, and also there's the Game Pass that's going to include a lot of things, including what is to be PlayStation's version of PS Now is also going to be included in that. So that's really good. So they're pushing it. I still think Sony's going to come out a little higher in price. I have a feeling something's telling me they're going to be a little bit higher in price. Now, in terms of specs, the Xbox is slightly stronger than the PS in terms of what the specs have to offer. But I can tell you right now, that's probably something 95% of people won't even notice when they're playing, honestly. So because I know there's some people bringing that up, and I get that. I don't think it's as big a deal as people are making it out to be. It's not like they're miles ahead in power. It's very slight, but we'll see if that makes a difference. I don't think it is, to be quite honest. I really don't. I mean, we've seen the prior consoles get praised for potentially hitting this, potentially hitting that, and there's still games even now. I mean, Avengers, which I reviewed yesterday on the podcast, plays horribly. Sometimes it's not necessarily the console versus how the game is coded, how messy the coding is. So, a lot of times you might experience some of this choppiness. We've seen it happen on PC. I remember when Batman Arkham City came out, and it performed horribly on PC, but it performed perfectly fine on the consoles. It's not always necessarily the hardware. So when you have specs that are this close, even though the Xbox is slightly higher, I really don't see, if you get a game that's coded right, that's going to perform well, I really don't think you're going to see the difference. So, all right, staying in the category of games. Well, I am not a big Call of Duty enthusiast. A lot of you guys know that. I treat Call of Duty like I treat Madden, which is I'll buy a Call of Duty every couple of years just to get my shooting fix. I used to buy Madden years ago, and I'm talking years ago, when it was still on non-disc consoles back in the late 90s, Genesis, Super Nintendo, all the way up to PlayStation 2 days. I used to be a yearly purchaser of Madden. Then over time, I started dropping that down to like once every 2 years. I haven't bought a Madden game in I don't know, 7 years. It's been a long time. So Call of Duty, I tend to do the same thing. I played Modern Warfare, the original Modern Warfare 2, and then I waited until Ghost came out, and then recently I tried Warzone because it was free. With that said, I am extraordinarily interested in playing at Black Ops. I kind of feel, because I missed Black Ops in my list there. I did play the first original Black Ops. And I will say, I find that the Black Ops Call of Duty games just tend to be a little bit better than all the other versions. Not only from me playing the first one and then playing a couple of regular Call of Duty titles after that, but also just word of mouth. Just people telling me that Black Ops is just a better game. So before we get into details about what they have to offer with this Black Ops game coming out, we're going to take a look at the trailer, which I did see earlier. And boy, this one we will show because it's a game trailer, so they don't usually hammer you for that. But I got to say, I am heavily impressed with this game. So let's check it out. And I love how they mix in Biggie to this. This is the original David Bowie version, but then later on they mix in Biggie Smalls.
You're here because you're the best special forces NATO has to offer.
You're all that keeps the world from turning to cinders, comrades.
I'm sorry, it wasn't David Bowie. It was Duran Duran, I believe.
Keep the wolves
I said David Bowie. It's Duran Duran.
We reshape the world.
Which they were big back in the 80s.
Let them come.
Love that. That music just gets me fired up too, because I love the song. Biggie Smalls is like my favorite rapper.
Secure the sub.
I'll take care of this. digital copy and get.
All right, so it's very hard to get me excited for a Call of Duty game, but I gotta say that one has done it. Now, of course, you know, you're pushing the 80s, you're pushing the Cold War. Some probably will criticize the fact that Big Papa is up in there rapping. I get it, that's 90s, but it was still fun to listen to. But the game looks really, really good, and I think this is a Call of Duty game I'm excited to try. It'll be my first Call of Duty purchase in terms of a full game since Call of Duty Ghost. So that was what, 6 years ago? All right, so let's look at some of the things they spoke about on the stream today. Obviously, I don't have everything, but I have some of the key features that they wanted to bring in. First of all, let's talk about the maps. So the first map is Angola, and they describe this map to be a king of the hill defending or attacking. Basically, there's a satellite that lands on top of a small dune or little mountain in the middle of the desert, and you drop in. If you're on the defensive team, then it's your job to protect the satellite. If you're on the offensive team, it is your job to converge on the satellite and take out the opposition. Obviously, we saw highlights of that just now in the trailer. It actually smacked Angola. So you can ride dune buggies and all this stuff. It looks insane. So the next one is the North Atlantic Ocean. And this one, when I checked out the live stream today and saw the map being played, basically this one, you're fighting for control of naval ships in the middle of the North Atlantic Ocean. And it kind of reminds me of Nuketown in the water. That's kind of the feeling I got from this one. You can zip line from ship to ship. You can drive in speedboats. It looks like mayhem, just crazy mayhem. And yeah, I'm looking forward to playing that map. Then you have Moscow USSR. This one kind of looked like it played as a regular deathmatch map. Excuse me. This one looked like it played more of like a deathmatch map. Basically, the main thing on this map is that there's a metro station in the center. That's kind of like the central hub, and traffic. A lot of the roads and a lot of the paths lead through that main metro area. So basically, one of the things they said was that if you happen to be in that area, the chances of you running into multiple people and having the opportunity to get multiple kills is very high. So it looks like that map, that's your central hub. Then the next one, which is the one I'm very interested in, is Miami, United States of America. Looks to be another deathmatch type map with, and it seems to be pretty large because not only can you run through the strips of Miami, the main strip of this area, but you can also go to the coastline, like right where the beach is, and it's very dark over there. So this will probably be where the snipers are going to be. You can launch ambush attacks from there if somebody's running by and you're kind of hiding in the wings. So, but it looks like a very fun map. It looks like it's going to be pretty big because, like I said, you got the main strip and then you got the beach. And it looks like the beginning of the game, from what I saw, it looks like when you launch this map, you actually land on the beach first and you got to work your way in. Okay, and then you have Uzbekistan. I don't think I said that right, but then again, I'm not Russian, so... And or it's called Crossroads. They were kind of referring to it as Crossroads. And this one is an ambush convoy map. So basically, obviously, you either protect or attack the convoy. You can get on snowmobiles, and this doesn't look like the kind of map where if you're on defense, you can run around. You actually have to stay with the convoy. I mean, you don't have to. You can run around, but obviously, if you leave the convoy, then you're leaving your defenses down, and then you just got to fight off people coming in trying to attack. It looks very intense. So that looks like a very fun. I actually like the convoy, the ambush convoy. That one looks like a lot of fun. Then they put in a new game mode called VIP Escort. This one sounds very interesting. And it's a 6-on-6, and you have a random chance of spawning as the VIP. And your job as the VIP is to stay alive. You're only equipped with a pistol, some intel equipment like radar, so that way you can tell your teammates where people are, and a smoke grenade, and that's it. And your job is to stay alive. And from there, if you die, if you get killed, it automatically the game is over. If your teammates get killed, then, they're out of the game. But, if the important thing is that you make it to the end of the mission. Even if all your teammates die, as long as you make it to the end of the mission as the VIP, then your team wins. So that sounds very cool. And then they had something called Combined Arms Domination, which was another new game mode. This one basically is a combination of vehicular warfare coupled with normal warfare. And they're talking about pretty much every vehicle in the game that might be highlighted in either game mode or on certain maps can be used in this game mode. So tanks, dune buggies, if the map calls for it, you can use snowmobiles. Whatever the map calls for, you can use. And that sounds pretty interesting too. So those are some of the game modes and some of the maps that they discussed. They also got into something called Signature Combat with Create a Class. It's a slot-based system. Added equipment is earned by time and not score. Now, I don't know what this necessarily means. I know back in the day in most Call of Duty games, you can unlock further guns and further, attachments or whatever via experience or points. I don't know. They didn't necessarily get into detail, at least as I recall from watching, that what they mean by time. I guess maybe the amount of time played. I'm not sure, but I wrote it as I heard it. You'll always boast two weapons, two weapons, your primary, your secondary, as we know, a lethal and tactical grenade, or lethal as they call it, and a set of perks. Field equipment is based on a cooldown system, which plays into the kill streak or the score streaks, which we'll get into in a minute. They're bringing back wild cards. One of them is you can load a primary weapon with up to 8 attachments. The default is 5. You can have 6 perks. That's the second wild card. You can also double the number of lethal and tactical equipment you have, like the grenades. And finally, you can equip any weapon in either slot and equip any perks with said weapon. Then you have the gunsmith, which is they have more attachments and optics than they've had before. 54 attachments over 8 different nodes are available. 6 of them are 6 options per attach point. So let's say if you have the default 5 attachments, and then each of those attachments, there's 6 options per attach point. By default, you have 5, but with the wildcard perk or the wildcard mode, you can get up to 8 attachments to your gun. Now, score streaks are kept through death. They describe this as a way to give everybody an opportunity. I know some people are probably going to criticize this because before, at least as far as I remember, you would get these great, you can call down an airstrike, things like that, depending on your kill streak. Like if you got 5 kills or 10 kills in a row, you can get into a gunship or whatever, those sorts of things. Well, this time it's on a cooldown. So your score streaks are kept through your death. So if you die, your next set of kills or whatever will still count towards your streak. And then you can use your special. Once you use your special, it goes on a cooldown. And they said there will also be counter score streaks. So if somebody's like using a gunship, then you might have a score streak that allows you to use an SMG and shoot down the gunship. So that is in a nutshell. Oh, and then last thing that I thought was very cool, I almost forgot this. Connected experience. Warzone is to be Warzone will be interweaving Black Ops and Cold War. Progression made will carry over from Warzone to Cold War and vice versa. And there will be a shared progression. It will also deliver cross-platform and cross-generation play. And will have cross-progression. So the first game to not only have cross-platform, but cross-generation, which means if you weren't getting a PS5 on day one, but your buddy did, and he has Cold War, and so do you guys can still play together, which is extraordinarily insane. That is quite the accomplishment. I got to give him kudos for that. So that is something else. I got to give props. That is something else. To be able to play with a buddy or a friend or people who may not have a PS5 or an Xbox Series S or X, and you're still able to play with people who have a PS4, I mean, that is really, really, really something. That is quite the accomplishment. So kudos to Treyarch. You know, they seem to have done a really good job with this. I have to say, I'm really looking forward to playing this. I am definitely going to get it. I'm definitely going to get it. Plus, Ronald Reagan's in the game. That's like one of my favorite presidents. So I'm definitely going to get it for that reason. You know, with all these features, all these perks, and the fact that you can even play with people who may not be able to get a next gen console on day one. So I'm looking forward to it. All right. So let's get into Wonder Woman. So Wonder Woman is while there hasn't been a super official date, many were speculating it's supposed to be coming out next month. There is a chance that it could be pushed back to December 18th, and that it also may push back Dune into 2021. The reason for this is that Tenet will have a chance to continue to make money in the larger markets in the country. New York, Los Angeles, some of the bigger cities have not opened theaters yet and plan on opening theaters the first week of October. So Warner Brothers may move Wonder Woman again to avoid competing with themselves. And meaning they want Tenet to have a chance to make a good portion of money with the larger markets in the country. And that essentially wouldn't happen if Wonder Woman stood at the potential date. So there is a chance Wonder Woman could get pushed back to December 18th and Dune would get pushed back until 2021. So that is the latest in terms of Wonder Woman news. This would be the third time it's been pushed back. Obviously not because of any issues or any doubt as to whether or not the movie would do well, but simply because they wouldn't want to compete with themselves. So understandable. So while that's not official word, that's not official news, if it happens, we shouldn't be surprised. It kind of makes sense when you think about it. And yeah, so all right. Now, okay.
Attention, this is not a test. Do not adjust your computer. This is an ETN bullshit alert.
All right. Well, this is not necessarily a new bullshit story. This happened on, I believe, Monday or Tuesday. Colin Kaepernick, everyone's favorite quarterback, has made it into Madden. Why? Why not? I mean, all right. And it's not only that he made it into Madden, he also has a touchdown celebration where he does the Black Power fist. And let's take a look at this. This is quite interesting. Oh, excuse me. Go away. Thank you. And now we lost. Oh, here we are. Okay. Here it is. Colin Kaepernick doing the Black Power fist. So, all right, now look, that's what the person said in this tweet. A lot of people do this. I guess if you want to, but that's not the point. I just wanted to bring that up, let you guys know and see what you guys think about it. But what's more ridiculous is the fact that he's even in the game. Okay? And not only that, he has an 81 quarterback rating, which is better than half the quarterbacks in the game. This is of a player who has not played going on 5 years. Okay? He's been to one Super Bowl. He has not, I would say his career was mediocre at best. His career quarterback rating, or rather his highest quarterback rating, they don't have it here in his career, which I don't know why. His highest quarterback rating was in 2011, a 74.4, which is not good. And that was only in 3 games, where he was 3 of 5 for 35 yards. The most touchdowns he's thrown in one season, 21, which is 2013. I believe that's the year they went to the Super Bowl. He threw 21 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. His quarterback rating was 65.7. The most interceptions he's thrown in one season was 10 the following year. His quarterback rating that year, 60.9. He then finished the last 2 years of his career injured prone and then eventually on the bench. In 2015, he threw for 1,600 yards, 6 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, a quarterback rating of 43.4. And then finally, in his last year, he played 12 games. He threw for 2,200 yards, 16 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, a 49.5 passer rating, quarterback passer rating. It takes other stats into play, not just touchdowns and interceptions. For those who are wondering, the amount of times he's been sacked, completion percentage, which was under 60%. He only threw for 60% twice in his career. His second year, he threw for 62. His fourth year, he threw for 60.5. The rest of his career, he's a 59.8 completion percentage quarterback. And they decide to put a quarterback in the game that right now everybody's destroying. The game, I believe on Metacritic, the user score is 0.2 last time I saw. Even their reviewers are rating it as a 6 or lower. Madden is a far cry of what it used to be. And then what do they do? Because a lot of people have been complaining about bugs, glitches, all these, all these damn things that AAA games do. When they release a game, it's never ready, it's never polished. They expect you to spend $64 after taxes, and then they have a marketplace where you can go and purchase microtransaction content, whether it's cosmetics. In EA's case, when they started doing this in Madden, it's pretty much when I stopped playing. Basically, there were certain players, like legendary players, if you wanted to get them, you had to pay to buy these stupid card packs. It was not something that you unlocked like you did back in the day. And you put Colin Kaepernick, probably, less than mediocre of a quarterback. Had one good season out of his 6-year career. Spent the last year of his career on the bench. He's made more money on the controversy of kneeling than he has in his whole career. He was given an opportunity to try out for teams privately. He insisted that it be done publicly. And when he showed up to the tryout session, he showed up with his own camera and crew, at which point several of the teams left, and I believe 1 or 2 teams stood by and watched his workout. The guy is a joke. He's a joke. Everyone knows he's a joke. And EA is pretty much getting destroyed on Twitter for doing this, not only because it's obviously a very pandering move towards a quarterback that's accomplished absolutely nothing in his career, and on top of that, it also shows that they were working on this, but not working on improving the game with the bugs. It's a very, very upset user base. But at the same time, if you're a Madden player and you're upset about this, you deserve it. Stop buying the game. It is not that hard. I haven't played Madden in 7 years because of this crap. You can't sit there and complain about what they're doing. I got to be honest here. Okay, I got to be honest. You can't sit here and complain about Colin Kaepernick. You can't complain about all these bugs. You keep giving them your money. They're going to keep dropping an egg on you every year. So, let this be a lesson. EA, stop your bullshit. You know what? I think this calls for something a little extra special, in my opinion. I really got to say, this goes beyond bullshit, because you want to know something. EA's been doing this. EA's been doing this for quite some time. This is not like new in terms of how they use, the microtransactions, how they go out there and they implement all these crazy, it's every game. And I think this calls for something special for EA. This is a tribute to EA. This is how I feel. At this point, it's not just about criticism anymore. It's not just about complaining, adding Colin Kaepernick, You know what I mean? These practices the reason, EA, why you have been voted and nominated the worst gaming company in the industry multiple times. You release games that are not complete. Look at Anthem, piece of crap. Your current Madden game is a 0.2. You add Colin Kaepernick to the fucking game, who has accomplished absolutely nothing, and then you rate him higher than half the quarterbacks? Hell, if I was in the NFL, I would be telling the NFL and EA not to use my likeness for their bullshit-ass game. This is why I personally am not excited about Squadrons. I'm not looking forward to it, because I'm sure there's going to be a little bit of that EA magic in there, and quite frankly, I'm tired of it. I haven't bought a Madden game in 7 years, and I don't plan on buying one anytime soon. So EA, fuck you! Fuck you, 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 fuck you. Fuck you, EA, fuck you.
Attention, this is not a test. Do not adjust your computer. This is an...
So, wrong button there. Sorry about that. So that's how I feel about EA. And that is how we're going to end this episode of the ETN podcast. I want to thank you guys who were here live to watch. And I want to thank you guys who may not have watched it live. Have a good one.
Thank you for listening to Entertainment Talk Nation. Don't forget to rate and follow and visit us on YouTube at ETN, where you can subscribe to the channel for daily content.
All right. And that is that for today. Podcast-wise. Don't worry, we're not leaving yet. Whoops, did I just turn that off? All right, what's going on, chat? How's it going? Front row seats to the concert. That might not at work better. What the fuck you moment? Yeah, I gotta put that up first thing tomorrow. Yeah, EA's horrible. EA is just horrible. But Rob, EA Play is free on Xbox Ultimate. Yes, so. So? What like... So, okay, you go to EA Play on Xbox, and what does that mean? You're, like, immune from microtransactions? Like, I don't understand. Like, where's the logic there? It's free on Xbox. Who gives a shit? They still suck. Fuck. Come on, look what they did with, like, The Sims. You buy The Sims, and you get nothing in the game unless you buy all the extras. You know what? Let me show you guys what the fuck I'm talking about. Maybe you don't understand just how... I mean, EA should go to jail for rape for the kind of shit they do. And you know what? I get it. It's not just them. It's also the consumers who are stupid enough to buy all this shit. But let me show you. Let me show you what I'm talking about. What's going on, Togera? Or Bobby? Yeah, I remember who you are now. Okay, let's just... Okay, here you go. Let me make this bigger so we can take up the whole screen. And I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. Look at all the sim add-ons. All right, this is the primary game right here, right? Which is Sims 4. Look at all the add-ons. The Sims 4 Star Wars Journey to Batuu Game Pack. The Sims 4 Nifty Knitting Stuff Pack. The Sims 4 Eco Lifestyle. The Sims 4 Discovery University. The Sims 4 Island Living. The Sims 4 Tiny Living. The Sims 4 Strangerville. The Sims 4 Realm of Magic. The Sims 4 Get Famous. The Sims 4 included with... Oh, that's the... Yeah. The Sims 4 Seasons. The Sims 4 Cats and Dogs. How much are these? Oh, that didn't go as planned. Yeah, because you guys know I'm blowing you up right now. That's why. Yeah, suddenly we can't see the prices, huh? Yeah, you motherfuckers. All right. Let's go back. We'll type in Sims again. Let's see if we can get this to work. All right. Let's go to Island Living. Island Living, $39.99. $39.99 for each of those fucking packs. $39.99. You guys seeing that? Okay, let's go to Echo Lifestyle. Which one did we? Let's go to this one. Get Famous. $39.99. It's not just one. It's all of them. $39.99, which is absurd. How many of them do they have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This doesn't count because that's the main game. 11 add-ons. Let's do the math. You buy the game at full price, which I think now is $49.99. So you spend $50 on the game, right? So let's add every expansion. What did I say? 11? 40 times 11. So 400. So if you want the full Sims experience, $489 if you want to play The Sims the way it should be. That's insane. That is insane. Insane. Assassin, don't make me do this. Don't what are you shilling for EA? Are you shilling for EA? Is that how this works? Oh, some of them are $20, $19. I just showed you two right there. Echo Lifestyle, $39.99. That's the third one I've clicked. That's $39.99. Okay, so Strangerville is now $20, but that's also one of the older ones. So, okay, so from $489 to $469. My bad, Assassin. My bad. $20 savings. What a bargain. What a bargain. Yeah, I'd like to play The Sims. Oh, it's $469, but you just saved $20. What a deal. What a deal. Oh, what a deal. Okay. Nifty Knitting is $10.99. So we just saved what? An additional $30. So now it's from $489 to $439. Sign me up. $50 savings on a $439 game. Sometimes you guys pick the worst arguments to make. I don't understand where your head's at. Do you what is the motivation sometimes? Is it because you just want to be the voice of reason, and even if you sound asinine doing it, you feel like you have to? It's $479 or $439 to buy the whole Sims collection. When I played The Sims 3, they had like maybe 2 expansions, and both of them were $20. Okay, that's fine. The same thing happened when I played StarCraft, the first one. I got StarCraft, then I got Brood War, and the game was full price. The expansion was $20. That's fine. No, it's not always you, Assassin, to be fair. Mike is also part of that, and so is James Varela. And Josh Cosner is good at that too. Just because they don't want to agree. I don't know if it's a thing. Like you feel like you can't agree because you don't want to. I guess you want to go against the grain. So it doesn't matter how much of a valid point I make. You'll do the counter argument no matter how idiotic it makes you look. Like you just tried to reason with me on a $439 game. Do you realize how absurd that is? Do you want to spend $439 on a game? And I can tell you, because I have Sims 4, because every time EA does drop those prices to like $2, I jump on it because it's cheap. Those expansions ain't worth no $39. They're not. They so are not worth $39. You have no idea. Oh, anyway. Okay, anyway. All right, how's everybody doing tonight? Yeah, I don't normally get angry, but it's not even that I'm angry. I'm just shocked that somebody would even try and defend EA, especially after that beautiful performance. I just gave a beautiful, like, it was like the opposite of a hype session. It was a de-hype session. So what weed was the person smoking putting up that price? EA, Alex, you just missed it. We just roasted EA like a motherfucker right before you got here. I know. I can feel your anger. I can feel your anger. You should get well, Phoenix Wright, I heard, is really good. Don't feel isolated, Assassin. Like, you're not on every stream. A lot of streams, it's usually Mike that I'm ripping into. But you gotta admit, you just went for the jugular on the most ridiculous. Like, I would rather hear you shill all night for the anime Godzilla trilogy than ever hear you even consider shilling for EA. Sims fan will buy it all. No, they won't, because I'm a Sims fan and I did not. I bought one expansion when it was on sale, and I bought The Sims 4 when it was on sale. And when I saw how much little you got in the expansion, I said to myself, I can't believe they're charging people $40 for this shit. Unreal. So I saw Mike's has had a hard on the size of a fucking the size of the Space Needle in fucking Seattle ever since the Dune trailer dropped. Like, 2 of my videos, he drops the fucking comment, Rob, did you see the Dune trailer? And I'm like, dude, really? This ain't even about Dune, man. Why are you coming to the video and making a comment about Dune and it has nothing to do with Dune? It's like, oh my God, dude, relax. Rob, I can be like this about certain things, but I respect your opinion. No. I'm not saying you don't respect my opinion. I just think sometimes you guys make poor arguments and it makes me feel like you're just making the counter argument for the sake of doing it because you may not want to agree. Because, like, if somebody makes a good counter argument, believe me, I'll be like, yeah, that's a fair point. But when somebody comes out and says something like, yeah, but you can play EA for free on Xbox Pass. It's like, so? And that excuses them for all the other bullshit they've pulled in the last 20 years? What's Dune really about? It's about spice trade. Dune looks boring. Well, James, if that's how it looks to you, then you might be in the same boat with a lot of people who saw the original Dune, because they all said it was boring too. Fallen Order was game of the year in 2019, Alan. Well, look, I'm not saying that the sun doesn't shine on a dog's ass once in a while. But I mean, come on. Overall, EA's a piece of shit. Rob, what do you think about Star Wars Battlefront 2, the new one? It was fine for the day and a half that I played it. I think I bought it for like $4.99, like a year or so after it came out. I'm glad I didn't pay a full price on it. And I'm probably not going to buy Squadrons now. I just can't see myself giving full price money to EA. I'll buy Squadrons next year when it's fucking like $2. With add-on fighters, but you had to own the previous game, regular $60 and $20 if they want to add on fighters for new. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Never bootleg for EA. Hell no. It would be more bad if they would put Overload DLC, like actually buy the store from the buy mode. All they're missing is slapping prices on every piece of info. Squadrons is $30. Yeah, I'm still not. I'm still not very confident. $30 with a store full of. Did they say whether? I'm pretty sure they're gonna put microtransactions. I mean, I know they'll just be cosmetic. I get it, and that's what it should be. If you're gonna put microtransactions, then yeah, I get that. I mean, I don't buy that shit anyway. Isn't God of War 4 an EA game? Come on, Acno. What kind of shit is that?
Idiot. Acno. So stupid. Your videos suck.
If a game is as good as God of War 4, it's not made by EA. I can guarantee you that right now. No, I didn't see that. That's funny. Yeah, I'm gonna hold off on Squadrons definitely now, especially after this shit with the fucking Madden. I'm not too confident. No, I'm not doing watch. I'm completely eradicating over. Oh shit! I'm completely eradicating over development of Godzilla content. See, Mike's getting an erection again. Is Omni here? Omni, how does it feel that one of these guys in chat are getting an erection and it's not because of you? Yeah, Mike needs to take it easy. Also, well, microtransactions will be a thing in Cold War, but you don't have to. Yeah, I don't care if it's microtransactions that are cosmetic and you don't have to buy them. You know what I mean? That's fine. I can always make that decision on my own. Godzilla is pretty much milk dry. I agree with your decision, Rob. Thank you, Mr. L. I always appreciate your support. It's a welcome thing. You guys, but let me ask you though, seriously, do some of you guys really want Godzilla? Like the Gobi does. Rob, I want to get Call of Duty to play with you and the rest of the ETN fam, but at the same time, Cyberpunk comes out 4 days later. I might have to get both. Well, start saving that money. But Rob, we still have to talk about Gigan and the Monsterverse and the 790 references in King of the Monsters. Yeah. Look, if you guys really want Godzilla, there you go. That's all you're getting. I just want watch parties other than Godzilla is dead. I know. I feel bad too, Godzilla. Sorry. One Piece videos, like once a week. Is that what you mean, James? After Godzilla vs. Kong, I'm done with Godzilla, honestly. Now, nothing new to talk about other than theories. Yeah, I know. Rob, as much as I am a diehard fan, you can talk about Godzilla all the time because eventually you get tired of it. It's best to talk about... Wait, what? You can't talk about Godzilla all the time because eventually you get tired of it. Yeah, it's true. It's best to talk about Godzilla. I think you meant something else. When the situation calls for it. Okay, got you. Only if there's that... Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, you know... Only if there's something to talk about. There's nothing to talk about. Funny how you use a Heisei roar and not a shower roar. Mike, get over yourself. Stop making everything about you and your obsession with sucking Heisei dick. Like, I could see... This is Mike right now. This is like a Heisei movie, like disc cover, and this is Mike. That's Mike right now with the fucking Heisei. Just relax. Come on. No, One Piece is an anime manga. Oh, what? You want me to do one? Oh, you want me to do videos about One Piece anime? Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Why I heard that Robert Pattinson got COVID. Oh. Yeah, so he got COVID-19. He'll be fine. He's like 34 years old. He's fine. You know, COVID-19 is not necessarily a death sentence. I spent the money on 2 collector editions of Cyberpunk. Oh, yeah, that's right. You showed one of your statues. Rob, to be honest, I'm okay with no Godzilla. It's only going to be worth it when you want to actually talk about it. Goddamn right. Oh my God, yeah, James. That's a lot for me to catch up on. I'm afraid I'm not going to be able to do One Piece. 900 plus episodes? Jesus Christ. I'm okay with no Godzilla content since there is no news and there are no more things to talk about than Godzilla. College is also a death sentence. Yeah, if you're not going for a trade, it is. Rob, would you ever do a video of other kaiju stuff like Gamera, Ultraman? How about Shin? No, never been an Ultraman fan. Gamera, I mean, if he had new shit to talk about, I'd done reviewed all his movies. Did you see my email, Rob? I sent it to you on your podcast email. When? Do some Marvel videos? There's nothing to talk about Marvel. Black Widow comes out maybe in November. Who knows? What else do you want me to talk about with Marvel? I've already done speculation videos on Marvel too. In fact, some of my videos came true in terms of some characters I was speculating on, like at least a month or two before they were actually announced. Is it true they're putting out new episodes of The Boys Season 2 weekly? Yes, it is true. Rob, but it won't stop me from seeing if you'll do some Cyberpunk. I'll do Cyberpunk. I'm going to do it. I kind of have to now. I opened the floodgates for gaming. It's content I've wanted to do, but the downside of that is if I want to be relevant, I have to do current games. And that sucks because most AAA games are launched with issues. Make it Dune news for Mike. Yeah, I'll give Mike Dune. I'll lube it up real nice and shove it up his candy ass. Here's your fucking Dune. Finish the MCU ranking that you did last year. Oh, that's right. I didn't finish that. I think I erased my script for that too. I think I deleted it. The hottest thing right now to talk about politics, whether y'all want to hear it or not. Well, like I said, I'm only going to talk about that if it's intertwines with entertainment. Otherwise, I'm not going to bring strictly politics up here. How can we hear if Alan when you are typing? Oh my God, Mike. Jesus Christ. Just
Mike.
Rob, you seen the zombies teaser at the end of the trailer for Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War? No, but I don't really give a shit about zombies. Remember what I said yesterday? I'm only going to talk about things that interest me. Zombies don't. I'm only going to talk about things that interest me. I'm not going to talk about zombies because it's probably a mode I won't play. Notice how Omni never responded. I don't think she's here. Either that or I embarrassed her. Because if sometimes if I make a joke and she turns red behind the keyboard, she won't type. Rob, will you play Little Hope? It's made by the Until Dawn devs. Doing good, Scottish. How you doing? I've never even heard of that game, Assassin, so probably not. The real news should be getting Omniblast to make a food cooking and baking channel. Oh, right. Yeah, she's got some pretty good plates. Yeah, the whole zombie thing is kind of dead now for me. Oh yeah, she could be driving too. What time is it over? Oh yeah, she might be getting out of work. Yeah, she was here. I saw her pop up earlier, but damn, y'all motherfuckers know her schedule and everything. I don't know. Alrighty, kind of looks interesting though. They're actually making it look creepy this time. No lights too, just flashlights. Tag team match between Rob and Rich Iso versus Lenny and Rick Eco, with Mike as a referee. Bobby, I think you should go into your natural form. Little Hope is a horror game where you make choices. You can play single player or with friends. That's also there'll be zombies in the war zone for Cold War. Yeah, again, just not interested in zombies. I don't know. I don't know what part of Zom or B. Not interested. Do not understand there, James. Hey Rob, I've been meaning to ask, what do you use to live stream? I've been trying to dive into that myself, but can't find anything. Well, you need an internet connection, which I'm sure you have. Microphone. Don't get this one though. This one's, I just wanted to get fancy schmancy, so I bought the Sheer, which is a very good microphone. But it's a lot of money. I have two lights right in front. I mean, the camera's right there, but I can probably use that cam, my meme cam. But I mean, the lights I got are very cheap. These were like $15. I can show you what they are. But I mean, the camera that I use is the same camera I've been using since 2013. The Logitech C22 1080. It's pretty much the best webcam on the market. Let me see. When did I buy these? I think I bought them in 2019. Pretty sure I did, actually. The lighting is obviously important. The more lighting you have, the better your camera looks. At least I think so. Well, no, that's the rule of thumb. I'm sure they're here. But basically, that's it, dude. And you just need a strong internet connection with an upload speed minimum of 32 megs a second. Because your upload speed is what makes your stream function. It's not your download speed. Oh, here it is. Well, that's one of them. But let me see. Where's that? All right. So this right here, well, it's $21 now, but it's still cheap. But this right here, this is the lights I'm using for what you guys see in front of me, the brightness. And it's cool because it also comes with a webcam attachment. So I got like two of these, and then I got a bigger version of this. And then I have two light stands on either side of me, but I don't have the ones on the left on, only the ones on the right. And that's it. Lights, camera, mic, and a strong upload speed on your internet. Oh, software. Yeah. So I use OBS Studio. That allows me to like switch scenes in between, like desktop, and then I go to my intro or my countdown. I can switch to my game mode. I can end the stream, all sorts of stuff. And it's free. OBS Studio is free. It's just a bit of a learning curve, but Rob, could you get another X Plus instead of all those Sims DLCs? Huh. Yeah, you can get an X Plus other than buying all the Sims stuff. Yeah, definitely. Oh, you're asking me if I'm going to do it? I don't know. There is one more X Plus I want to get, but I don't think it's out yet. I think, actually, wait. We're in September? I think it is out. It's the 2019 X Plus Godzilla. I think it is out already. James would know. Hey, did you guys see? I posted it on Facebook. Did you guys see the comment some dude made on my video about the Oscars? The guy assumed that I was white. You gotta read. I gotta read it. I wonder if he replied to my comment, because I made a comment regarding what he had to say. Percentage. Let me see if it's here. Oh wait, he did make a reply. Oh no, that was WTF Productions. All right, so check this out. I'll move it up here. Yeah, check this out. Listen to what this guy, I'll put it up on screen too, but it's right here. Mark Stevens. Wow, does this guy even know the history of the movie industry? Just because you're a white guy, I'm a white guy, doesn't mean you have to feel personally slighted by attempts to make room for other people. Dude, women, minorities, etc. didn't just materialize out of thin air in the last few years. No shit. We have been around since the invention of the movies. It is also true that in all that time, if you came out of space and watched the movies and then walked down to the streets, with very few exceptions, you should be shocked that there were any other humans around but white guys and scantily clad white women. Yes, you would be shocked. So please stop playing the victim. If this were a race, folks who look like you would have gotten a 100-year jump start on the standards. Okay, maybe they could use some nuance, but stop pretending that Hollywood hasn't been using racial standards since its inception. Any actor of color can tell you how many times they have been turned away because they are not the all-American type. No, they can't. Maybe you could interview some casting agents and write down the standards they are actually using now. When you do that, tell me if you still believe your colorblind argument makes any sense. Come on, man, let's be real. You seem like a good guy, but it's not right that you feel threatened by the fact that people are just trying to give other people a fair shake when they really haven't had one. So my response was very simple. I'm Puerto Rican, for your information. I prefer earning a spot via merit than handed one to meet a statistical quota. This is probably the stupidest comment I've ever seen. I think I even mentioned in the video that I'm Spanish. This goes to show you need to, like, when people put up videos, if you're going to make a comment, you really need to watch the whole video. You can't just stop halfway through and start writing asinine shit like this and assume that the person is what you think. Like, this guy completely thought I was white. Only, God forbid, right? See, if I was born in the 60s during the civil rights movement, I would have been doing the same thing for black people. I don't like racism. I've been a target of racist attack by people, so I know how it feels. I grew up in the fucking South Bronx, man. You know, there were plenty of racist white people in the South Bronx, or used to drive through. I remember one time I was crossing the street, somebody drove by and was like, something along the lines of "Get out the way, you fat spick," some shit like that. I mean, come on. But just as much as I hate racism against minorities, I equally do not like racism against white people. Simple as that. Simple as that. Speaking of the Oscars, Dune is... Alan, can you just shut him up for 300 seconds, please? Oh, God.
Mike.
This fucking guy has his fucking Dune hard on. Just for that, he's making me want the movie to bomb. You know why? And this is why. And I'll tell you a short story as to why. When I got into high school, and I was a late bloomer when it came to dating. You know what I mean? I didn't start dating till I was like 17 years old. And when I would meet Spanish girls, you know, they would always tell me, "You don't sound Puerto Rican. You don't sound Spanish." And I'm like, well, what's a Spanish person supposed to sound like? I mean, it doesn't get any more racist than that. Now, that doesn't mean I think they were racist people. They're not. It's just incompetence. Like, what is a Spanish person supposed to sound like? And that is a misconception a lot of people have. A lot of people think I'm white when they first speak to me because I speak like with proper English. Now I can talk slang. I used to talk slang all the time, but you know, there's no reason to now. Every now and then you guys hear me come out with slang, but for the most part, I speak like a normal person. You know, that has a lot to do with it. I don't know. I think that's one of the big parts of it. Robert Downey Jr. was nominated for Best Supporting Actor in my favorite comedy. Yeah, Tropic Thunder, yep. And he did blackface the whole movie. That would never happen again. Man, he was so good in that movie. I'm surprised, but you see, Robert Downey Jr. is one of the popular white boys. They're not gonna try and cancel him. Some Asians sound British from my life experience. Yeah. Or how about black people that are born in Britain? You know, they have a British accent. That doesn't what? They have a British accent, so they shouldn't be black? I mean, you know, it's all dumb shit like that. I'm of Hispanic origin. I speak zero Spanish. Was raised in Japan by Marines. Looks can be deceiving. Yeah. I mean, I've heard you talk, Mr. L, so I know you sound like a white boy too, just like me. My previous boss, a black woman, said black friends of hers would talk shit to her saying she tries to be white because of the way she talks. She said, no, I'm just talking proper English. Yeah, so that's all it is. Rob, I have the same thing. I'm half Mexican and people think I'm full white. I mean, I don't care. I don't care. I don't cry about it. I know. Yeah, I mean, but that just goes to show the misconception. Like, just because you're Spanish or black doesn't mean you're supposed to talk a certain way. Yeah. Gotta brush the beard. I trimmed it recently. Nobody noticed. You guys don't love me anymore. It's all right. My step uncle is from El Salvador, and he's just like you, Rob. His accent and pronunciation are spot on. You couldn't tell he's not from the U.S. Yeah. I'm from Connecticut. However, I've been mistaken for being British or Australian due to my New England accent. I'm half Polish and a quarter Russian, 12.5% Irish, and 12.5% Scottish. Big Bad, your voice is a New England accent. I used to live in New England. You sound like you're from England. Like England, not New England in the U.S. I'm just white. I'm half German and half English. Cracker ass cracker. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Your beard always looks the same. Thank you. I appreciate that. That means that when I groom myself, it doesn't make a difference. So I'll just let it grow bushy. What's going on, high flyers? Oh, did you just blow a kiss to Mr. L? You know who's going to intercept that kiss? Kinky Dora. People say I sound... Damn it, Mr. L, I know what you meant. You didn't have to take the whole message away. I did my ancestry DNA. I found out I'm a fucking mutt. So you saying your ancestors are dogs? People say you sound Southern. Rob, well, many people just label my accent as a New England accent, so I keep it as that. I call it a Northern accent, but well. As you sound English to me. Rob, speaking of races, do you believe the theory that sooner or later that all people will be mixed eventually? If they're not already. I mean, my wife is Portuguese, Irish, and something else. So my kids are 50% Puerto Rican and 50% a bunch of other shit. I'm white and heavily Macedonian, and multiple times I've been mistaken for a Chilean because my looks and the fact that I can speak 2 languages. I'm half Hispanic and half white. High Flyers tag team. So you just going to give Mr. L a kiss and not for me? Okay, I see how it is. Oink. My coworkers asked why I just laughed so loud. I just said cracker ass cracker. Oh. I wish we could live in a day where race didn't even matter, to be honest. Oh, from your mouth to God's ears, High Flyers. Alan Mullins, give me the juice. I don't even want to know what that's about. Don't even want to know. England, Wales, Ireland, Norway, Benin, Tango, Cameroon, Southern Bantu peoples. That's a bunch of shit right there. Generations of humans, after generations, produces all kinds of people. Sounds gross. For those of you who came in a little late, the podcast is usually recorded during the first hour. So if you're wondering why I'm not talking about Call of Duty or any other topics on the list, that's because we already discussed it. I missed the meme you made for Mike. Master Snyder cut is the biggest thing since Star Wars. Now my son Dune will be bigger than Star Wars and Lord of the Rings, according to Mike. Ha! That's good. Mike, you don't actually think Dune is going to be bigger than Star Wars, do you? You must be. I don't know what you're smoking, kid, but share it. Hey, Rob, have you heard of Mikhail Mbembe? No. My mother's family was to believe for 100 plus years. I don't know what you mean by that. You self-identify as a helicopter? That's awesome. That's one thing about that leftist culture I like. Every day you could be whatever you want. I think tomorrow I'm going to be a snow cone. Just for shits and gigs. It could be as big as Star Wars? No, that's not true. Let's get the first movie out the way, Mike, before we start comparing it to Star Wars. You ever do one of those Facebook ethnicity tests? Said I was East Asian and Sub-Saharan African. I'm as white as they come. Rob, this is random, but what do you think? Excuse me. What do you think Africa was painted very poorly by the media in America? I heard places like Senegal and Ethiopia are amazing, but without researching, I feel people think Africa is grass and lions. What? Grass and lions? You know there's deserts there too, right? Did you guys hear Daisy Ridley accidentally out Disney for not having a plan for the sequels? I did hear about that. Yep. They're all turning their back on Disney now. Mokele? No, I never heard of that person. Well, you better get back, Omni. You better start learning German again, because the way this country's going, we might have to speak it in a couple of years. Mike, porn is bigger than Star Wars. Dune is nothing in comparison. Unless it has good porn. Then it has a chance. That is true, Childish. That is true. We learned that just by watching the movies, not necessarily. That's good. I don't blame them. They should have had an outline of the trilogy beforehand. Oh yeah, I have to. I keep forgetting to turn it on, but I have to put new batteries in it because it turns off after a while. I have to put new batteries in it. Star Wars is the biggest franchise ever. Jack back comparison. Jack. Who the fuck is Jack? Oh, Jack Mills. Okay. Oh, come on, Mike. You know you have a favorite porn franchise. Actually, I think I want to try something. Let me see something. I think there's a meme that's fitting for Mike. If I can make it real quick, I'd be very happy. Let me see. No. Damn, they don't have it on here. I'm gonna have to describe it because I won't be able to make it right now, but I am gonna make it. But I'm gonna make a meme. I'm gonna make a meme of the big worm from Dune at the end, and then I'm gonna put a little like meme version of Mike on the bottom, and then next to that I'm gonna put Brazers, and that's gonna be the meme for Mike. Oh, that is so good. That's perfect. That is perfect. Route 34 does not revolve around Star Wars last time I checked. I've unfollowed woke YouTubers too. It's crazy how that side is coming out and so many people I've been saying it's gonna be a no from me, dog. Mike's dick is bigger than Dune, and that's not saying much. It glows shiny. My favorite fandom besides Godzilla is Tremors. Yep. You know what? Let's have some fun. Tomorrow, everybody come to the stream with a Mike meme. Could be anything. And let's just show them all. After I do the podcast version of the show, we'll just show all the Mike memes for the rest of the night. You guys have all been here enough to know all the crazy shit he said, all the crazy shit he thinks. Let's just meme the fuck out of Mike. I think we owe it to him. That's Optimus Prime. Marvel as a whole has been around way longer, but in terms of the MCU, most have lost interest in Star Wars compared to the MCU.
Mecha Tyler Brown tipped $1. My mother's family believes we were Cherokee for 100 plus years. It was hard to have to tell them after my DNA results came in that it was a lie and we were part African. Not too many were happy, however I owned it. Made me feel positive.
Nice. Thanks for the dono. Nah, yeah, it'll be a nice tribute to Mike and his incompetence. Yeah, no. So if you're on the Nation, don't post them on the Nation till after the stream. Not that anyone on the Nation who doesn't come to streams is gonna get it, because Mike's not on the Nation. No, Mike, don't try and spin this. This is about you. I even got memes of Alex Put. I'll show one of the classics. Alex, you remember some of the memes we used to do on each other back in the day? I think I still have some of yours. Let me see. It'll be tough to find though. I have so many memes. Now that everybody uses GIFs, so I don't use these memes anymore. But I have tons of them. I have so many. think I have a bunch of James Bevelo memes. I don't think James is here tonight. Here's a classic one I had of Alex. This is like 5 years old. Hemorrhoids. Oh. Classic. Oh, here's a classic I used to use when people would bitch and complain about DC. I'll just post this. This is an old one. All we do is win. Now my favorite is Tom Cruise DC memes. Those are my favorites. Those are the ones I always use. What was the meme of, Millennial? The Snyder Cut will reinvent cinema and challenge our perceptions on everything. It's a Mike quote. My talent is film, Kaiju. What's yours? Getting piped by your pipe. Actually, Mike, based on what I've observed here, looking at Kaiju's pipe cleaners like creativity versus your film assessment, he by far is miles and miles, probably even light years more talented than you are. Your assessment and breakdown and opinions of films is probably the worst I've ever come across in my life. And I'm being serious. Like if you're in film school and this is how you break down film, I suggest you drop out. Save your money. Yeah, oh yeah, you remember that? Had all the Yu-Gi-Oh cards. The one that grossed people out the most was the one of the man eating vagina. God, I wonder if I still have that. Hold on. Because I used the thing from oh my God, what was that movie? Starship Troopers. Let me see if I can find it. Oh man, I don't think I have those anymore. It would suck if I don't. I thought I did. I thought I had a whole folder full of them. I had a lot of fun during that time making like different Magic and Hearthstone cards with memes on it. But I think I got rid of them all. Oh, you want to see something I sent to my wife when we first started dating? It was like maybe after our second or third date. This is how I get once you're dating me and things are going well, this is how confident I get. This is a picture I sent to my wife. She thought it was funny, obviously. Kaiju, don't you want to be a director? Ask you a question on film, Rob? What do you mean? Like, what kind of question do you want me to ask you? Did she send you a picture of a cat to say how it's going? Oh, you already made one, James? Fuck it, let's start the party early. Send it to me so I can show it. I've heard of Cowboy Bebop. Yeah, I've heard of it. Anything, since I don't know what I'm talking about according to you? Well, what I'm asking you, Mike, if you'd use your brain, is what? Do you want me to ask you about a movie? Do you want me to ask you about filming in general, like how it's done? Like, what kind? You're the film student. You tell me. What have you learned? What is something I can ask you that you have a chance of answering? I don't want to like, catch you out there. I want to give you a realistic chance of answering something. Oh, that's a good question. What do you think makes a great film? Actually, that's very good, High Flyers. Thank you. All right, Mike. Let's go with High Flyers question. What do you think makes a good film? Oh, that's good. That's good, James. This is James' meme for Mike. We're gonna go with High Flyers Tag Team's question, Mike. What do you think makes a great film? Very accurate. Oh, God. Ask a question that wouldn't need me to respond with more than... Okay, now he's making excuses. Just answer the fucking question. Those two are the two messed up memes I have. Let me see. Hold on. Why haven't I gotten your... He can't answer it. Forget it.
Mike, 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 Mike.
Those are very generic answers, Cosner. Plus, you gave him the answer already. What makes a good movie? Score, cinematography, script, acting, and sound, among other things. Everybody knows that, Mike. But there's certain... You're the film student. There's got to be more to it than that, right? I mean, you basically said what Cosner said, only you use the movie-appropriate terms. You'll go in depth? Okay. So I can fill out multiple responses? Just answer the question, Mike. It's not that hard. What do you think makes a great film? That's it. Just answer the question. It doesn't have to be all technical. It could be your opinion, certain things about other movies you like that you want to include in your answer. I mean, you're getting until tomorrow, so there's no way you're going to get it wrong. Ask you a question about a movie, any movie? Okay. What do you think is the best what do you think is going to be the most captivating, if it exists in the movie? What do you think is going to be the most captivating thing about the Snyder Cut? What is it about the Snyder Cut that makes you think it could be one of the biggest things to come out in a long time? Oh, oh, look at this one. Now that's good. I don't know if you guys can see it. It says the Snyder Cut and then Mike with his head up the dog's ass. Oh, man. Ask him what makes it great porn. Oh, anyone can answer that. If you're a guy, oil, big boobs, and a shaking booty. The first one was a picture with a... Oh, yeah, that's bad. Oh, man, that's bad. Oh, man, millennial. Oh. Well, knowing that the majority of Snyder's vision wasn't in the theatrical cut and the visuals will be much improved, it will be better. That's it? That's it. You didn't mention anything about the story, which is important. You don't think the story is going to be better? Mike, I want you to tell me how you feel about a film that doesn't include anything about the visuals, because that seems something you mention a lot. And visuals can be great, but it doesn't make a good movie. The story being told how it was intended will always make it better. Do you think that's the case for every movie? If there was to be a remake of a movie? Like, if a movie was in the situation like the Snyder Cut, do you think the eventual version, the original version that was supposed to be done, will always be better than the one that was previously made? Do you think that's do you think that's true for any movie that would be in that situation? Was Kermit, and it said, when your girlfriend is mad and says your dick is little, but that's okay because it fits her sister perfectly. Oh, man. Oh, that's a good question, Mike. That's a lot of scenes, man. That's 4 hours worth of shit. Rob, what makes a great kaiju movie? A movie that can... I think what makes a great kaiju movie is putting the monster in a position where you can actually feel for the monster. You can actually make the monster a character and not just an entity, if you know what I'm saying. Like, for example, the reason 1954 is so good is because Godzilla as a character is a tragic... what's the word I'm looking for? I'm going to say development for lack of a better word. There's a word I want to use, but I can't find it right now. But Godzilla in that movie is the result. That's what I meant to say. Is the result of tragedy. So because of that, the character has a deeper meaning. You obviously feel for the people and what they're going through, but you also feel for the monster because it's not the monster's fault that it exists. It's our fault. So here we are trying to kill it, and it's just being what it is. What I like of what they did with the newer movies for all the criticisms the movies get, what the newer movies have, and this is an advantage because of modern technology, is you can get more expression out of the monsters in the more upfront movies. Upfront. The more recent movies, like 2019. And like good example is, I've used this one before. When Godzilla meets Ghidorah for the first time, they pan up to Godzilla, and as they get to his face, he kind of looks closer at Ghidorah and snarls as if to say, I can't believe you're back, or what are you doing here? Like, there's actually some sort of communication there without any obviously verbal, because the monsters can't talk. So I think what makes a good kaiju film is making the kaiju not an entity, but a character, and being able to communicate with it while not having the opportunity to communicate directly. Now, that was more difficult for the older films, but there were a lot of films where they were successful in doing that, obviously 54 being one of them. Tragic villain, thank you, Big Bad.
Ron White tipped $1. I was all for the Snyder Cut. Though hell I'd like to see it. Until I realized it was something Mike only talked about to grab attention so he didn't have to jump on his pogo stick of a dildo. Dude, let me tell you, if his asshole could scream, we'd know.
The issue is if the Snyder Cut does well, then Warner Brothers will be stuck between Snyder Cut fans and DC fans wanting the Snyder stuff to end. I don't think it's going to be much better than the original. Adding new scenes with new visuals doesn't improve the movie. It just might improve how it looks. I don't know. I mean, Darkseid looked like shit, if you ask me. Who is a better director, Spielberg or Nolan, objectively? I would have to say, I think Nolan surpassed him. Nolan has been more consistent with his movies than Spielberg was. Spielberg's had quite a number of duds, believe it or not. A lot of people don't realize that, because you always think about a lot of his bigger movies, which by no means, not that they weren't good, they were obviously excellent. Obviously, Spielberg's won awards where Nolan hasn't, but I like Nolan's, I find Nolan to be a little bit more original. Yeah, I have to remember how to log into that email. It's been a while. I know I'm going to be bringing the podcast back. I mean, I brought it back here, but I'll probably start recording it while I'm doing it on all platforms again. Nolan has a problem with sound, though. He thinks it's a good aesthetic, but in reality, it's hard to understand. I watched Tenet, and like some of his past movies, it was hard to understand on the sound level. I guess. I've never had an issue with the sound. I don't think he's in charge of sound, so I don't know, but I mean, he is to an extent, but he doesn't develop the sound. Spielberg will be more iconic. Well, Spielberg to an extent is more iconic. I'm not saying that Nolan is the bigger of the two. I'm just saying, in my opinion, I like Nolan better. And Nolan has had more home runs than Spielberg has at this point in his career. All right, Millennial. You get home safe, man. The biggest DC threat other than the Anet monitor, and he's shown on a $30 streaming service. Meanwhile, Thanos, who knowing you has become a household name, ain't that a bitch? Yeah. Yeah, but you know what? You know why I like, and that may be true, Cosner, on the exterior, but interiorly, I feel like Nolan is good at putting multiple genres within one movie. Because I'll use Inception as an example. Inception obviously was a great sci-fi flick, and the concept was original, but it was also very family motivated. Like there was actually a lot of emotion there. Like I got very teary-eyed at the end when he got reunited with his kids, especially not knowing whether or not he truly was. Nolan has, it's like the Batman trilogy, right? It's a superhero flick, but it felt more like Batman for the most part was going up against the mobsters. It was almost like a mob movie. So that's what I like about Nolan. He has a good way of making a primary genre and then squeezing other genres into it and making it work. That's actually a really good talent. Yeah, I already did that yesterday, High Flyers, and I put the highlights on the channel. I think, believe it or not, I think Interstellar is actually one of his weaker movies. Like I thought it was okay, but that would be one movie where there was some very small detail errors that, you know, and maybe this is because I have such a high regard for Nolan. There was some small details in the movie that were not accurate. And also I find it hard to buy that after not seeing his daughter for as long as he didn't see her, and then now seeing her on her deathbed, older than him, that he would leave her side. It's not like he couldn't go to find, I forget the character's name, but Anne Hathaway's character. It's not like he couldn't go find her after the fact. I mean, this is your daughter. This is someone you were very close with. You haven't seen her, what feels like to you, maybe a year or so, a little longer, but now she's dying and you're going to leave her side. I had a hard time with that. I think Memento is really good. That's actually one of my favorite movies of his. I probably will, Mike. Dunkirk I haven't seen yet, so I got to check that one out. I have to check Dunkirk out. Yeah, I would say The Prestige is really good. I like that one. Yeah, Interstellar is an acquired taste, I think. Oh, if he wants to show it. Yeah, I'll check it out, Mr. L. Sounds interesting. The time of the night. That's right. Thank you guys for being here again. I appreciate it. Been a lot of fun. I hope you guys are liking this new format. And hopefully, you'll keep enjoying it. All right, guys, I will see you. Man, I just realized I don't know how I'm going to get all this content up tomorrow. I'm going to be in DMV all day. All right, I'll figure it out. But I'll see you guys here tomorrow night. You guys take it easy and have a good night. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.